So today we are going to discuss about color palette, then color filling options, and vectorize images in this version of ToonBoom. A very basic of timeline and how you can add multiple drawings in your in a particular layer. Basically, a very basic of the library of drawings, and then actually this is it, and onion skin options, very basic things. uh, Next day we are going to start keyframe animation. So before starting the keyframe animation, this is very basics of ToonBoom for line drawing animation. So I want you, after today's quick demonstration, I want you guys to stay here for at least half an hour to 1 hour and do a very little bit of frame by frame drawn animation, and let's see what kind of issues we are facing here. So in ToonBoom Harmony, it is not needed. No, it might not be needed for your project, but in these 2 hours of class, let's practice these things. Okay, so let's try these things. Let's pause it for a while. So let's start with the color palette. uh, just select a brush, and after selecting the basically all of our drawing tools like blast tool, can I take a pause? After you select the brush tool, you have all the very basic color palette options. You can select the color, you can create new color from here, you can delete a color from here, and we have, I don't know what this option is. So okay, this is for loading textures. Yes, so we are going to explore that today also. You can expand and collapse your toolbars like this, and so let's select a color, and the color is selected. You can double click on the color swatch here, and you can change the color. Very basic thing, you can change it in RGB, HLS or RGB, or there is this option for different displays of, huh? You can create and load palettes. You can create different palettes for different characters from here. Hmm. Common palette and load in each and every yeah, project files. So that option is very simple. Just save and import the project files, and also you can create different project files for different, not only for scenes, for characters also. Hmm. In a single project file you can have different sets of colors. Okay, yes, no, don't do that, don't do that. You can actually, but scenes are going to be changed, and all the backgrounds, so massive हो जाएगा ना entire timeline. One shot only at a time. Okay, so we can actually change the display of the colors of the color palette from, I think, from here. So current display override, so that option is there, but I'm not going to find that because that's not very necessary. So this is basically the colors. You can select the color and you can create your drawings, and these are not actually, let's say that I have created these, I've selected the brush tool. In the tool properties, I have created this kind of textured brushes, and the color you can apply on that too. Okay, so it doesn't matter what kind of texture you are using. Okay, you can do that here also. For unlike the Toon's raster, I mean OpenToon's raster, in ToonBoom's raster layers, you cannot actually you are not going to have any color ID. That means you cannot actually change the color after you have made that. So let's create a Toon's vector Toon's raster layer. From here you can create a bitmap drawing layer, and you can see suddenly all the color palettes have been changed. So that means if I create a new brush stroke, and I cannot actually change the brush color anymore. It's like Photoshop. Okay, you can change the colors, but you are not going to have any color ID assigned to it. That means later on you cannot change these colors. So in OpenToon you have these options. That means you let's say you have imported a raster image. You don't want to use any vector lines, so you have imported a raster image, and there you want to do simple color filling in that raster layer. If it is in OpenToons, you can change those colors later on. You can modify them. You can make according to, let's say, day or night or whatever color tone you want, or you have done some mistake, you can change those colors in rasters also in OpenToons, but in here in ToonBoom you cannot. It's very much like Photoshop. So once you have done it, it's fixed. So let's delete it. And to delete a layer, if you hit delete, it's only going to delete the cell, so, or the drawing. So you have to right click and delete it. After that, you can change, you can create, you can change the color names, and you can, if you double click here, you can change the colors. And then we have these three options. So right now all of these three things are linked together. If you select this thing, click on this thing, it's been linked together. So that means if you select the pencil tool, the same color selection remains, the color selection remains the same. And so as if you select the fill tool, if you unlink all of them, you can actually change different colors for different tools. So I mean, it's basically assigning them. I don't know whether it is going to be very useful for you or not. So for the pencil tool, yes, but this is a very temporary thing. You can change it anytime. It's not that it's going to be assigned permanently. Yeah, that is basically categorize the entire palettes that you are using. This is for the fill color. But this option I am showing you, it's not anything like that. It is basically for your convenience of your work. So. Hmm, hmm. No, no, that is very same. That is very same. I mean, you select the lines and you change the color, or the color already you have applied. Maybe that is a black color. You double click on it and you change it to red. Okay. This is just you are assigning for the default. You are assigning a separate color for a separate tool, and that is when you are rapidly doing something. I think at that time it will be very helpful. Let's say for the fill I have used this green, for the pencil I have used red, and for the brush tool I am going to use maybe blue. So because all the things are unlinked right now, you can assign these three colors. So right now if I use the brush tool, the colors is going to be blue. If you select the pencil, automatically it will switch to the red, and if you select the fill tool, it's automatically going to be the green one. Okay. So this is basically the linking and unlinking thing. And after that, let's delete all this thing actually. So go to the select tool, and I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to delete it. Now I'm going to create a rectangle from here, and we have some other options here also. So let's create a new color, and I'm going to fill the color with this new color, and oh, not this one, this new 0. We can name it to whatever we want, but for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a gradient. So from solid, let's switch. Oh, also you have this option for the alpha. You can create a semi-transparent color from here, and let's add a gradient. From solid we are going to select the gradient, and in the gradient we can select both of these two swatches, and you can actually create multiple number of colors in our gradient. So I'm going to select and delete it, just click and drag down. So this color, maybe it is green, and the other color whatever we want. So you can create a gradient like this, and for the influence of the gradient there is two options. When you are creating it, you can actually move these swatches to left and right, and in between you can create another gradient. Let's say this one is yellow. Okay, so this option we have it, and let's say in this in between color we want to make it transparent, so we can do that also. Okay, and if we close it, um, now if we create a brush stroke with this gradient, I'm going to turn off the unlink option, and you can see the brush stroke is going to be like this. मिल गया. Okay, and so now if we go to this tool, which is gradient brush, you can apply gradient in brush stroke, but that's a little bit tricky. For vector brushes are perfect for that. Raster you can do that, but it will take some time. So let's go to let's go to this option, and if you expand this option, you can see that we have edit gradient and texture tool. If we select that, and if we select this this rectangle, and then what is going to happen is we are getting some kind of handle. So if we change this handle, actually let's create another shape to see what kind of changes happens to all of the shapes we have in our scene. So it's looking like Bob Marley's hat. So go to fill tool, and let's create a brush stroke also. So if we select this edit gradient and texture tool and select this color, and if we make any kind of change, the changes is going to happen only in the selected part, selected shape. We can rotate the entire shape. If we go hover over here, we can rotate the entire shape. We can actually stretch and no, we cannot. Frame by frame you can do anything. So and we can actually select separate shapes. We can actually move it like this. We can rotate it however we want. So that option we have it. Okay? So in the line also we can do this. So we have all this this handle, and I hope there is an option for radial also. So if we are going to make it radial, so the options are also going to be, the handles are going to be changed like this. This is too big. You can see when I have made it radial to gradient, all of the texture have been changed, because any change you make here in the original color palette, color swatch, the change is going to be applied for all the strokes, all the things that you are using this this style. But if you make any change with this color this edit tool here for each and every different shapes, it remains the same. I mean it is different for each and everything. So okay, after that we have the, let's create a new one. So I am going to actually select this one and create a new texture layer, and let's see what I have in desktop. We have nothing. Let's, there was a texture that I had downloaded. Okay, right now I don't have anything. Let's select this one. This is not a texture, but let's select this picture, and I can assign this thing. I can actually go to the fill tool and select this color and assign it here. And we have this is an annoying thing. We can go to this tool again, and if we select that, and then also we have this option. We can actually skew it like this. We can make any kind of changes like this, and we can rotate it if we want. And if we select the edit tool now, sorry, the eraser tool now, you can actually select a part like this. Actually this is the, you're brushing using the thing, and if we select the cutter tool, you can cut a chunk out of it. So this brush, okay, in brush tool if I use this, so it's going to look like this. It's kind of if we go to the this thing, you can see that it's ending here actually. It's repeating the entire image, so I can expand it by using these handles. So you can see that I have this handle, so I can actually increase or decrease the entire thing to get our desired result. Okay, so this is basically using color gradient and texture in color palette. So this is basically it for color palettes. Brush कैसे बनाते हैं? How can you create your own vector brushes with different textures? So that option we are going to have here. We can actually if we go to the texture, we can actually add import this from this menu. So let's add something from here now. Let's just type. Okay, this is a very huge file, but you can see it have created something like this. So that this thing also, it's not bad by the way. Anyway, we can add textures from here. Whatever changes you want to make, you have to make from here. Remember, it's not a raster brush, so you don't have that kind of spacing and all these options here. Yeah, Photoshop, that's a raster brush. That's a raster software and raster brush. Huh? The pattern, if we create a um, bitmap layer, and here we have all these options. The options are going to be different here, and hopefully you can do it from here. So let's go out to these options, and we have a paper texture option also, and from there we have all these different hardness, shading and randomness and spacing, all these options, and from there you can actually create different brushes. So you can see the changes are happening here, so we can actually increase or decrease the shape. Actually this is the dual tone tip. If I make it single, yeah, this is the tip option. So from here we can change the spacing, we can randomize things. So yes, this option is also here, but in the raster. So for the raster we already have Photoshop. I'm not going to explore all these things here. Okay, but if you want that option, it is here. Okay, After that, we can see that whenever I'm creating, let's delete this layer, and after that, if I create a um, new layer, and let's create a brush stroke. So if I create a new brush stroke, you can see the other layer that is kind of faded out here. So why is it happening? By default, we have this option turned on, which is called the light table option. And let's create a new layer also. So add and close, and here you can see also. So whenever create a new layer and you are working on that, that layer becomes opaque and other layers become semi-transparent, and you select this layer, then other layers are become semi-transparent. This is basically for the convenience of your, let's say you are drawing something or something like that, but in the render view you are going to see all the things all together. And if you want, you can turn it off, and then you can see all the things in 100% opaque view. And also you have this option which is called the current on top, current drawing on top. If you select that, then whichever layer you are going to select, that is always going to be in top. So let's say you have something in your foreground and your background, you are drawing a character which is in the middle ground. You can, if you turn that option on, that is always going to be in top of every layer. And in the drawing view also we have these options. You can see the light table options is also there. If you turn it off, then it is going to become a white paper. You can obviously change the paper color from the preference. And we have other options too, like you can change the onion skin opacity down, um, change the opacity of onion skin, and you can change the opacity of the light table. And opacity for bitmap backgrounds. We don't have any bitmap layer here, and pencil opacity and all this thing. So these are the basic options. um, After that, let's move to the fill tool. So let's actually delete all these unnecessary things. And in the fill tool, let's create a almost closed um, circle, almost closed circle. So here into the fill tool, if I want to fill anything, it's obviously not going to happen, and for that this is really a pain. For that we have all these things, which is the close gap. If we do this, it is going to create a zero value, a line with zero thickness. And again, the similar option as open tools, this is a zero thickness line. By default it's not showing. If you want to see this line, you can turn on it from the preference. I don't want to see it by default. So now you can go to the pen tool and you can actually fill it with color. Okay, let's say you have drawn something, and you need to fill the, like a face area. You don't have the, you have to fill the face area and don't have line for the neck areas, and then you can do it. Also you have the option for the stroke. Let's say you want to you want to fill only the half area. Obviously this is the same thing, like you can create a line and you can make the thickness of the line 0, but that takes a little bit time. For that you have this stroke tool, and again this message is showing. You can turn it off from here. And now if we go to the fill tool, you can fill the half of this thing. After that we have these options called paint unpainted, repaint and unpaint, and that is basically let's create a checkerboard type of thing. Let's delete this and go to the brush. And I'm going to fill some areas. If we go to the paint unpaint, only the unpainted areas, if you select another color, only the unpainted, you can see nothing is, if you try, nothing is going to be paint. Only the only the transparent areas or the unpainted areas is getting filled with the color. You can also select this marquee tool and select and drag, and it will fill only the unpainted areas. Let's say you have, you have painted the skin color, you have filled the skin color, now all is left with the dress or something like that, you can just select the entire thing with the marquee selection, and unpainted areas are going to be filled. Then we have this option, repaint. Only the areas which is painted is going to be filled, which includes the lines also, because lines are actually I haven't drawn the lines with this line tool, pencil tool. I have drawn this thing with the brush tool, so it's filling everything, every painted areas. Then we have unpaint. That is basically if you want to unpaint any area, and you can see that I can actually do this thing and we get this shape. So this is it. Ink option, I haven't only thing it does, it changes the line colors. So if we create any line, and this ink option, it doesn't work for any other thing but the line colors. You can change it like this, so it's intersecting with the background, so that's why it is broken, but that is what it is. So this is basically the paint tool, the fill tool, and the dropper works the similar way, but in open tool we have two droppers. One is for the style picker, one is the style picker, and another one is the color picker. Here we don't have any color picker. I don't know what these options are. This is sample all layers. Okay, but if we select this color, automatically it's going to select the style for you and nothing else. And now vectorizing images. So here in this version, I don't know what options is there in other version, but in this version, let's select all the unnecessary. Anyway, go to in this version we have almost no option for vectorizing images. I will explore this option later on a little bit more, but as of now I can show you the way. If you go to the import image, and from there let's select the entire work cycle, and as I've shown you, you have to select everything to get a image sequence, but here you can select this option, which is the convert to ToonBoom vector drawing. And if you do that, you have two options. By default it will be selected in gray, so if you hit that, what is going to happen here, it's going to load all the files, and here you can see we are getting all the drawings except from the white. It automatically have removed the white, and we have the grays, actually not only the blacks, and you can see it's kind of mimicking the brush stroke, as I've select the gray option also. So the problem is you can actually go to the contour point editor tool, and you can select any line like this. Wow, I'm not selecting the right thing. So you can select any line and move it, or if you go to the contour point editor tool, and you can see we have way too many contour points, so let's zoom in and if we move it, nothing get really actually expanded, because this kind of it's creating this gray image. So let's check the other option, which is the black and white one. So let's undo the entire thing and go to import image, and let's select the black and white, and this time we have a black vector line. So let's see it does the same thing or not. So let's select this layer. Yes, this is the right thing, this is the thing you want. Yes, it's automatically converting to vector, and yeah, so this is basically it. You can see. But the thing is, I'm not getting any threshold option. So here the lines are not really that clean. Deepak, you are using this option or any other thing, because I'm not getting any threshold window. So which option is that? Can you access my desktop? Okay, so can you show it in your desktop? But we have a, so if I play it back, so I'm sorry, this is something, this is in reverse. Anyway, so I hope all those options are there. Like if I want to select the entire thing and right click drawings, huh? না একটু বেশি তৈরি করেছে। So হ্যাঁ, এবার this is limitation. If I select the entire thing, you can see one thing, like if I select the entire lines, and one funny thing happens if I smooth it. It actually smooths quite a bit. I don't know if there is any option in the preference for the smoothness threshold or not. So if I do it, it looks like this. It looks like a design. Playback, this is only one, only frame, only one frame. I have to. Can, if I select the entire thing, let's see the same thing happens or not, or it no. I have to do it one by one, but yeah. So I have to select the entire thing. So in the selection, I have this option, right? Repeat all the now. No, we don't. I don't have that option, huh? I don't think. If you have shortcut for this tool, then you can assign shortcut for this thing. And select each and every image, but not only select. You have to, if you go to the next image also, you have to select all the lines, right? And then hit the shortcut. So this is it. Anyway, so this option is there, but it's better to do in OpenToon. Threshold option should be there. Iska hai, but in this version, I think we don't have that here. And again, I will try to find a solution here. So let's see, is there any option or not? Ah, this is, you have familiar, no? So we have that option here. I don't know how but the preview window is very small. With the vectorize, this is the threshold option. How can I do that? Just do the same thing here. Okay. Okay. Now we can actually change the threshold. So there should be this option, threshold 10. So let's make it 30. 50, and what is this option? I don't know. So close gaps 10%. I will close the gaps automatically. You can change the orientation, optical registration. Huh? Huh. So let's hit OK this time, and black and white, and hit OK for the gray. OK. OK. Now this time let's turn this thing off. Okay. Check the contour points. Well, yes. So I think that option should be there, right, to get a smoother contours. So yeah, I'm sorry. Import image. Go to the option box. No texture. Hmm. Color art threshold. No, ये color art बनाएगा एक साथ. Anyway, it is giving us pretty good result. Huh? Smooth passes option was there. Anyway, so let's. So we have got the entire thing. We don't need much more smoother lines than this. It's I have to see where the reverse drawing option. Oh, you can see the threshold somewhere is disappearing. Ha. For some drawings it is good, for some it's not. So anyway, let's go to the next thing, which is the timeline option, basic timeline option. First day we have talked about this a little bit. So this is this tool. If I do that, you can go back and forth like this, and let's delete all this thing. And I have made this. Chalo, let's delete it again. And if you start drawing, it's create a default layer, and you can see if you hit the full stop, or the greater than less than arrow, it actually gives you the previous and backward and क्या बोलता है previous and forward frames. And let's go to the next frame, and you can turn on the onion skin, and like this you can draw things. And now you can see that whenever we create a new drawing, we get a new number here, like it's 5. This is the 5th drawing. So if we create a drawing here, it's going to be the 7th drawing. And let's say I'm going to add the next drawing here. So this is the 6th drawing, so I want to create the 7th drawing, and you can see automatically the gap has been created for us. The gap has been created for us. This drawing could have been here. If we have any kind of gap in our this thing in our timeline, so let's create a gap. I'm selecting and deleting the entire thing. You can actually select the entire select few frames and move it like this, and let's create a gap here also, and I'm going to select it and move it here. So let's create some gap here also. If I select the entire thing now and hit this option, it will going to automatically fill the empty cells. Okay. And in the library, actually this is basically like the, as I've told you, the library here is basically the level strip in OpenToons. So you can actually change the drawings from here. You're actually storing different drawings here, but in OpenToons you get to see all the drawings in a level strip view. Here you cannot. You can change the drawing. Let's say this is 6 1, so let's make it 2, and it's automatically going to change the entire drawing for the all these cells. Okay, it's like flash. This thing I think I have open tools a little bit better than ToonBoom. Yes. Not only the column system, the entire level tree we can see. You can drag and drop drawings from there. Here you can also change the number of drawing from here also. Okay, you can do that. And so this acha, and let's say if you want to duplicate this drawing, let's say this is the let's hit F5 to get some exposure. Let's say you want to make a new drawing which is going to be the 7.5. Oh, budget. So let's say I'm going to I need to add I need to create a duplicate drawing. So for that we have this option, which is the duplicate drawing option. It seems like nothing have happened, but if you select another cell, you can see it have actually splitted the entire the drawing, the 7th one, and I created a new drawing. It's saying 8. Okay, so like this you can create a duplicate. This option. So select any layer and duplicate. Click on this option. It has created a duplicate for us. Cut के निकल देता है, but you can see that it's called 9. Obviously it's going to add the numbering gradually 1 2 3 4 like this. So this is basically it. You can change the name of the drawing. You cannot repeat the same name. So if you select any drawing like this, and if we let's say this one, hit Control D, you can change the name of the drawing. So this is 1.5. How can 1.5? Okay, we cannot use this kind of same. Oh. Anyway, whatever, 9.5. Can I use that? Okay, yes. So this is it have used underscore. Okay. So this is it. This is how you create multiple drawings in a single layer. And you can actually drag and drop layers from here also. Hopefully I have done this once. No, but why do you need that anyway? And the onion skin option, I have already shown you. This is the onion skin option. If you turn that on, you get these handles, and you can expand that or reduce that. And then we have this actually from here also you can grow the onion skin range. And yes, basically from this option you can actually change the visibility of the onion skin, and this is it. And we unfortunately don't have the hold frame option for the onion skin. You can always turn on one particular drawing to get a reference from. Here you cannot do that. You can only add backward and forward frames. So this is the basic things to start the line frame by frame animation. Any questions? From next day we are going to start the keyframe animation using peg bars and keyframe animation. No, not today, next day. So let's do some practice on it. It's 5:22.